Hi everyone, I'm Patty Barr. I'm the director of ICATER, which is the Iowa Center for Assistive Technology, Education and Research. We're based here in the College of Education at the University of Iowa. And this week we continue our app webinars with a favorite of mine, actually, TouchChatHD with WordPower. I've got a copy of this up on a website. TouchChatHD is an augmentative and alternative communication app. So you can turn your communication device into your iPad into a communication device. It's $150. There's a light version that's $10, but it doesn't have any speech, so no speech output. So you can look at it, see what kind of boards you might want to use, but no speech output with that. Some of the top in-app purchases, the first one is WordPower, which is what we purchased for the one that you're going to see today. So it's basically a $300 app that you're going to see today that can basically transform your iPad, whether it's an iPad or an iPad mini, or an iPhone, or even an iPod, into an AAC device. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that. And I'm mirroring, I've got some AAC apps here on my iPad, and I'm just going to open that up and go to the next page. And this is what the TouchChatHD app looks like. And when you first start it, it's going to start up with whatever it was that you ended up with. But if we go back, what I really want to show you to begin with are some of the different vocabularies. So I've just gone up to, let's do that again. So this is your main page. I go to vocabulary and I say choose new vocabulary. And I have a whole big long list of different vocabulary that I can use. You might have seen there was 15 location, and then it was 4 location. So the 4 location basic is right here. And let's just look at that. So you can press one of these keys and it's going to branch. It'll branch again. You can go back. You can go to home and all about me. So just different things, and when you press up in here is where it's going to talk, when it's going to talk. And for some reason, it's not talking. It's been talking all day. And I bet it has to do with some of my settings here. So my unmute, mute is on, mute is off, lock on and off. Let's just see what that does. You can see it should have said my name is XX, I live in, and typically it's a really nice voice. So let's just see if I can, I'm sure it has to do with my mirroring. And it's either the lock on or the lock off. So let's see if it'll talk to us. It was talking earlier. My volume is up. Let's try that again. Let's see. Some of these have to do with locks, locking the. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna keep showing you the different vocabularies. So here's, I'll choose another vocabulary, and you can see there's some my core here. So lots of words, so you would have to be literate to use this. So you can put a whole sentence together. I will do that. And if I press up here, it should speak. It's not doing that, I'm sorry. But it would say, I will do that. You can go to some different words up here. If I go to this one, it's deleting words. Here it will delete all of the words. And if I go to my words, that's what I was trying to get to, my words over here, you've got all kinds of categories off to the side and words underneath each one of those. So these are all descriptive words. I go to things, then I've got things over here. If I go to food and drink, I've got food and drink. And then feel medical, you've got things there. Work, and work is full, and then there's more things that you can add. So I go to more, and there's computer, and still lots of things. I can go back and go back again, back, and I can go back to, I was at work, here's places, here's where you can put in custom things. So we're going to go back to home, and you can just imagine, if you're literate, you could certainly use this and say lots and lots of things. So let's go back to vocabulary again and choose a new vocabulary. And I'm just going to keep going. Here's one that's spelling. And it's just a QWERTY keyboard layout, and it's going to do some word prediction up in here. So here's hello. I was going to say hello, and I was going to say my, space, name, there's name up in the corner, so I'm just pressing name, is, and the shift key, here's your shift over here, P-A-T-T-I. And this should, again, say, hello, my name is Patty. One of the neat things about this program is you can, with some of them, like this isn't going to allow you to do it, but this is going to give us synthesized speech, but we can also record speech with this app. So let's go back to more vocabulary. And there's Vocab PC down here. So this is just a 12 location that we can go to. I want help, and I'm going to delete everything that I've got up there right now. Go back to my main page, or go back a page. These would be things I can chat about. This one, you look nice. Hey there, you look nice today. And these are ones that you, because it's not a novel thing, a novel utterance. You could record a voice in this one. We're going to go back, and we're going to go back to the vocabulary and choose new vocabulary again. And then you've got some of these down here: Multichap 15, Quick Chat, and WordPower. Multichap 15 has, so as you can imagine, it's 15 keys, and you can have this for an adolescent, an adult, or a student. And then My Quick Chat, you can have this set up for either a child or an adult. So let's just go to an adult for this. And then you can have 12 or 8 positions. So just other ways for people to get that vocabulary out of their device. So if I go to emotions, for example, I've got some quick chat things about emotions. So these are thumbs up, these are positive things. And here's quick chat negative things, thumbs down. So these are you know, I'm done, go away, whatever. And I can always go back to, and you can do manners, of course. So with this, you've got kind of these always stay the same. And whatever it is that you choose from your home button or news, you can always have your quick chats. So if we go to drinks, for example, we're going to have some quick chat positive, quick chat negative, and manners for each one of these. So we're going to go back to vocabulary again, choose new vocabulary. So this is all in one app, and you can choose these different vocabularies. And then WordPower, I want to show you. You can have a 20 position, 24, 30, 42, 48, 60, 80, and 108 keys. And then you can make this Spanish as well. So you can have Spanish WordPower. Or you can have everything in Spanish if you choose this one down here. So a really versatile program. And one of the things that you'll notice is if you go way up here is I had a bunch of these. These are locked. All of these are locked that I was just showing you. But there are these here that are unlocked. I don't know if you can actually see that. These are yellow. These are green. And basically what I did was I copied some of the core vocabulary, or the ones that come with it, and I can modify these. So these you can never modify. But these, I've made a copy and I've renamed them so I can modify those, and I've still got my original, which I think is a really smart way to keep your information kind of pure, if you will. So what I wanted to do was to just show you from these, Multichap 15 for students. So we're going to go there. And one of the reasons that I really like this app is it's easy to hide keys or show keys, which means that you could lock someone into a page, and you could communicate using that for a while. So I'm just going to go into I want to play. These were some of my favorite ones when I was doing a lot with augmentative communication. And if I wanted to say, the three I used most often were ball, bubbles, cars, and I used baby dolls sometimes, but I didn't always have a baby doll with me. I typically had a ball with me. I typically had some bubbles with me. So we're going to go in here to ball. And a lot of times when you're doing, when people are using communication, they get to, we're going to go back one, they get to this and they say, oh, you can make some choices. And so you make your choices, and that's the end of your conversation. But when you really get good conversation is when you're talking about the activities, and it's where you can repeat conversation over and over and over again, which is pretty cool. That's where kids, and that's where people that are exploring language for the first time, that's really where they learn language. So I'm going to go back to this ball, and I can say, okay, hey, let's bounce the ball. Let's throw the ball. Let's roll the ball. And what are some other things you could say? So you as the child using this communication device could order me to bounce the ball. How motivating is that going to be? I mean, motivation is a key piece of communication. Throwing the ball, is that going to be motivating? Rolling the ball, is that going to be motivating? And then you can say things like, good catch, uh-oh, the ball is round. You can do my turn, your turn, I'm finished. You can go to different colors. And one of the things I did most often with this, I'm just going to go back one, was, I'm going to hit the clear key, was I typically hid some keys on this board so that we could just continue to play during a ball activity and not get distracted with going back to the beginning all the time. So I'm going to just want to show you how you can do that. So I'm going to go to the menu up here in this corner, and I'm going to edit this page, and I'm going to just choose one of these. So for example, home, I'm going to say, I want to edit this button, and I'm going to go down here. So this is where you can change all kinds of things about this button. But the thing I want to show you is visible right here. I'm going to make this, I'm going to turn visible off. And then I'm going to save it up here. And you can see that it's kind of grayed out right now. I'm still in my working menu, so I'm still in my editing mode. But I'm also going to change this, go back, because I don't want to be able to go back right now. I'm going to edit this button. And again, I'm going to go through and I'm going to make that one invisible. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to do this one too, the colors. I'm going to make that one, I'm going to edit that button, and I'm going to make that one invisible. Okay, and save it. And then I say I'm done. And now you see that those are gone off my page. We could play with the ball, and we're not going to be distracted by moving off to the home button or back or branching to the color key. And we can have lots of fun. So, and then it's pretty easy to modify things. And you can snap a picture, take a picture of somebody. I've used this one often where instead of my turn, it says David's turn, and we've got a picture of David. And then it's Patty's turn, because maybe my and your, that can get kind of confusing when you're first learning language. But most kids are going to know David's turn, Patty's turn, and you can put pictures. So you can associate that with pictures. So anyway, this is kind of a fun app, and I want to show you another one where we're going to just go back and back again. And I wanted to show you where I could describe things, and I wanted to do more descriptors. That's not what I wanted. We're going to go back again. I wanted to try to find, well, let's try things. And here's some art. And here's paint. So we could paint with markers. We could paint with a crayon. We could paint with a paintbrush. You could use scissors to cut. You could go to different shapes. So maybe you want to say, use the scissors to make a heart. And we're going to go back again a couple times. So you can see that you can do lots of different things. You can easily hide some keys. So maybe you've got a student that 15 keys would be too much to begin with as you're teaching them. But you can easily add them back in because they're right there. You've just made them invisible for a while. We've also got a keyboard. So this is, you saw a keyboard just like this when we were looking at the QWERTY keyboard layout. So I'm going to go back again, go back to our vocabulary. We're going to choose another vocabulary. The other couple that I want to show you are WordPower. Here's WordPower 30. So WordPower is, you're not going to start out with a keyboard on some of these that are smaller numbers of keys on the board, but you can see that some of these don't have pictures. Some of them do have pictures. So if you, for example, wanted to say I, it branches to probably a verb is going to be after I. So I was going to say I like, and here's like right here. To, I wanted to say look. I don't see look on there anywhere, do you? So I'm going to go to some more and see if I can see look. I see here, there's look, right down here. I like to look. And if my speech was working, it would say, I like to look. You've got a keyboard on here, similar to what you've seen before on some of the other keyboards. And you can customize this however you wanted to. I'm going to go into our describing words and colors down here. And on this one, I had added this marker. So let's add a pencil right here. I just want to show you how easy it is to program things. So we're going to go to our menu again up here, and we're going to want to edit the page. And then I'm going to tap on this key that I want to change. I'm going to put pencil on there. So I'm going to edit this button, and I can put a label in, button label, and I'm going to put it as pencil. Oops, an M, pencil. And we can pronounce the message. if it was working, it would tell us what that sounded like. We can select an image. So right here, we can select an image. And if we go to search, you can see all these different images. So you could play with these and see what images you want. Or if you simply go to search, it has already realized that, oh, you already typed in pencil. You probably want a picture of a pencil. So it makes it a little easier. So there's colored pencil, pencils. I'm thinking colored pencils are probably what I'm going to be using because I'm kind of in this describe it. So I could put whatever I want to. I can save it. And then I've got pencil. And on this one, I just changed where the label was. So when I touch this, if it was working, it would, oh, I've got to say I'm done. So we're going to just go out of this and say that we're done so that we can go back to our editing. I'm going to get this out of here and say pencil, and it would come up into the top. I could have put in there that I want it to say, I want to use a pencil, or I want to use a colored pencil. You could put whatever you want for it to speak. So easy to program, easy to hide keys, really robust language. The last thing I want to show you is, you've seen that this can be as small as 4 keys, and I wanted to show you that what WordPower 108 looks like. So just think, this is a lot of keys. This is a lot of information that I could be saying. Again, some of these have pictures associated with them. Some of them don't. Couldn't is probably kind of a hard one to put a picture with. But on, it's the light bulb is on. Off, the light bulb is off. Over and under. So is it over the line or under the line? So, and again, this is going to branch, and you've got your ABCs. So you could go to your keyboard. This one is a little more complicated keyboard, 108 keys. So they're assuming that you can have a whole lot more keys on your keyboard. And you could customize this however you wanted to. So I'm going to go back to home, and I want to just show you kind of describing. This is going to be similar to what you saw on the, what was that, a 15 location? Or no, it was a 30 location. So the pictures are similar, but they're in a different layout. So if you've got, so the thing with hiding is if you've got someone that can hit this size key, but it's too overwhelming to have all of this all at once, you might want to hide keys and then bring them up again for people to use. So it's a fun app. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to make sure I told you. Oh, this was something I thought was really cool that I didn't know it did. But if in your menu under settings, you can, this is where you can change your voice, your rate, your pitch, your pause between words, whether you have the display on or not, the font size, this tilt action. This is what I hadn't used before. So you can have it expand and speak what's up in the message board. So I'm going to say done here, and I'm going to take my iPad. You won't be able to see this, but I'm going to tilt it. So right now I'm tilting the iPad, and what it should do, which it did earlier, except I might have turned lock off. Yeah, I've got it locked. So when I tilt this, it comes up as the whole screen says pencil want. And if my speech was working, it would say pencil want, pencil want. So that was kind of a cool thing. You can, let's go back. Another thing on the menu is you can, in the settings, you can log use. So do some data logging. And then also some things you can do is for the buttons pressing, you can activate things on release. So basically, if I have activate on release on, I could move my finger all over the screen and it's going to activate when I lift off. So that's activate on release. So if you've got somebody that needs to really stabilize and then release, you can do that. Your dwell time, it's how long you have to press the key before it works, or the release time, how long you've got to release it. Highlighting the touch, that's on. You saw that it was highlighting as I read it. Hide all icons. Let's just see what that one does. So it puts, you don't have any pictures anymore. It's just words. So another way of scaffolding from pictures to just the words. And then show and hide buttons. So if I go to show and hide buttons on, show hidden buttons, it would show the ones that I've already hidden. So easy to unhide everything. And then the allowing social networking is so that you can connect this up to share things on email or other documents. So anyway, a really versatile, robust augmentative communication app. It's kind of expensive, but if you're thinking about some of the products from Saltillo, the iPad is about the size of their 10-inch device. The iPad mini is about the size of their 7-inch device. So depending on what your funding source is and what you're going to be, how your students are going to be using this, how your people with disabilities are going to be using this, how your people with complex communication needs are going to be using this, this might be a nice option for you.